Hello, my name is Rylan Warner. I'm an attorney at Joseph & Hall, and today I wanted to talk to you about the Visa Bulletin, what it is and how you can read it. So for certain types of immigrant visas, the government limits how many of those visa types they can issue each year. So if there are more people applying for the visas than there are visas available, the government then sets up a backlog. And basically, the Visa Bulletin is how the government keeps track of that backlog. How you can know, okay, if I'm in this certain visa category, I have this long to wait in line until I can have a visa to become available to me. So that's what the Visa Bulletin is. Let's talk about how we can look at it and understand it. So here I'm at just google.com. I know it looks a little funky. It's because today is Earth Day. What I'm going to do, I'm going to type in Visa Bulletin and just search that. You should find this first link from the U.S. Department of State, and you can click there and it'll bring up this page. Now, sometimes there are two Visa Bulletins available for the current Visa Bulletin and the upcoming Visa Bulletin. It is April 2024 right now, and they're also showing May of 2024. So sometimes if there is the upcoming Visa Bulletin available, you can look at that to kind of say, oh, looks like my visa is going to be available next month. Let me get ready for that. But first, let's just look at the April of 2024 Visa Bulletin. So you'll find this page of text, and you're going to scroll down first to find out your category, okay? So this should be listed on your I-130 approval notice, but you can also find it here by saying, okay, I am the unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen. This means that you are 21 years of age or older, and that means that you fall into the F1 category, okay? F2 is split into two categories, F2A, which is the spouses and children of permanent residents, and then F2B is the unmarried sons and daughters, so 21 years of age or older of permanent residents. F3 is for the married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, so it differs from F1, which requires that you're unmarried. F3 is for the married sons and daughters, and then F4 is for the brothers and sisters of adult U.S. citizens. So first you figure out what is your visa category, and then you're going to look at these two charts here. So I'm going to skip to this second one here, which is the filing date. So what you look at is on your I-130 approval notice, you should have something called a priority date listed. And that's the date that we're going to compare to these dates here. So the way that you read these dates on this table is this would be the 1st of September of 2017. So it's the day, the month, and then the year. So if your priority date, if you're in the F1 category and your priority date is September 1st of 2017 or earlier than that date, then that means that you, if it is in the filing table like this, that you can then file your DS-260 with the National Visa Center saying, I want to move ahead with my visa application. But you should also look at these countries here too. So if you are from one of these countries, a different date can apply. The reason why is the government tries to make it equal of how many people from each country that we take in each year. And so if there are more people from one country than another, then we might try to impose a limit on how many people can come in from that country compared to all other countries. So for most countries, you're going to be looking at this first box. If you're from China, you're going to be looking here, which actually is the same date here. India, you're going to be looking here. Mexico, you see a big difference here. So this is going back to April 1st of 2005. And then the Philippines, you're also seeing a difference here. 2 years, less drastic, but definitely a difference going back to April 22nd of 2015. So that's your filing date, okay? If you are that date or earlier and you're in the correct category, you're in the correct country, then you can file your DS-260 with the National Visa Center, say I'm ready for my visa. But it doesn't mean that a visa will necessarily be issued to you right then. You have to also have this final action date be current too. So again, you look at your priority date and you compare it to this final action date, and if it is this date or earlier, then the visa can actually be issued. So you file according to this date, and the visa can actually be issued according to this date because a visa is actually available according to this date. So there's over a year of difference. It's almost 2 years of difference between when you can file for the visa and when it becomes available according to these to the F1 category that I'm looking at right now. So when you are thinking about filing for a family member, first figure out their category and then look at the country-specific filing dates and final action dates according to the visa bulletin, because that'll give you an idea. It's not 100% by any means, but it'll give you an idea of how long you're going to actually be waiting for those visas, because in certain categories, such as in Mexico, for certain categories of people, they're going to be waiting quite a long time. For the F1 category, it dates back to 2001. For F3, which is the married sons and daughters of a U.S. citizen, they're waiting back to 1998. That means that that parent applied for their married son and daughter at that back in 1998, and now a visa is available for them. We're also going to scroll down here to the employment-based categories. So this has the family-based categories and the employment-based categories. You figure out your category just as you did with the family-based, and then we're going to have those two charts here again. For the filing date, that's going to be the second chart, and then the final action date when the visa is actually available for those first charts. So it's just like with the family date. You look at your category, you look at the date, compare it to the priority date listed on the I-140, and then you also make sure to look at the correct country for you as well. So that's how you read the visa bulletin. But also I want to talk about how much it can change from month to month. So let's go back to the February 2015 F1 category. So this is the April 2024 visa bulletin. Okay, so the people who have a priority date back to February 8th of 2015 can go ahead and get their visa right now. But let's look at the May bulletin for that same category in the same country. It jumps up to July of 2015. So we're going from April to May, which is just 1 month of difference, but you're seeing a 5-month jump. So every single month, the priority dates and the final action dates, the filing dates, they can jump a whole bunch. It could jump 5 months, it could jump a year, it could jump multiple years. It can also go backwards, it is all depending on how many people are applying for these visas and how long the line is. So the fewer people are applying, the government does some math and says, okay, we can give out visas from this year and this year and this year. But so if a lot of people are applying, those dates can actually go backwards. So, you know, it could go from, okay, you need to have a final action date of July 2015 to you need to have a final action date or a priority date of July 2014. So make sure you're also watching the changes between months. It's not 1 month to the next, it's going to advance a month. It can go ahead a bunch or go backwards a bunch. So that gives you an idea of how to read the visa bulletin and what the current backlogs are according to the visa bulletin right now. If you have an interest in filing for an employee or for a family member, and you would like our assistance on it, you can schedule an appointment with Joseph and Hall today, and we can help you out on that. Thank you.